حكاية واحدة تمتد عبر التاريخ، حكاية البحث عن السيادة والاستقلال. تتقاطع الشعوب حولها ويدعم بعضها بعضاً في قصص أفرادها اليومية والحياتية. لاسكتلندا الباحثة عن استقلالها تضامن مع فلسطين يصعب فهم أسبابه. يرجح البعض كفة التاريخ، فيربط ذلك بتاريخ الاستيطان الإنجليزي في إيرلندا التي هجر الكاثوليك منها إلى اسكتلندا بعدما حظرت لغتهم وصدرت أراضيهم. أما البعض الآخر فيقسم أنه يستحيل على أي إنسان عاقل معرفة انتهاكات إسرائيل وعدم تحريك ساكن.
It was originally set up in the west of Scotland, in Glasgow in fact, by in combination with the trade union movement in response to the Israeli invasion of Lebanon in 1982. Then it was a charitable body trying to raise funds to send out to Lebanon, and in particular to the Sabra Shatila massacres that took place, the refugees. And then it quickly became a political organisation, and it changed from being the West of Scotland Friends of Palestine to Scottish Friends of Palestine a few years later.
To be honest, it was the war in Iraq. It opened my eyes 19 years ago, I think it is, and they were looking for human shields to go to Iraq. I joined an anti-war movement, and one of the people there said he was going to Iraq as well, but he was stopping off somewhere else. Turned out to be Palestine. It was Bethlehem he was going to meet somebody there. Then we were going on to Iraq. So we were walking down Bethlehem and we heard gunshots ahead of us. And the gentleman I was with said, we'll go this way and avoid it. Instead of avoiding it, we walked right into it. I witnessed 2 children had been shot, 2 died. A 5-year-old, a 6-year-old. A Palestinian grabbed my arm and asked me to ask the soldiers why they were doing these atrocities. And I did. I approached him and asked him, why are you doing? You're murdering children, innocent children. And the soldier turned, the terrorists. I said, they're children, they're 5 and 6-year-old, they'll grow up to be terrorists, and that was it.
I think it's about fairness. I think in Scotland there is an understanding about the situation in Palestine, the terrible situation that people are facing, the unfairness of the situation, and it's a decades-long siege that is getting worse, and people sympathise with that, and they want to, if at all possible, be able to contribute to aiding the people in Palestine.
مجموعة أصدقاء فلسطين الاسكتلنديين، أولى مجموعات اسكتلندا وأقدمها، 40 عاماً من التعريف بالحق الفلسطيني، مؤتمرات وندوات واجتماعات وتذكير معلن ومباشر يصل إلى حد وضع معالم تذكارية في أرجاء البلاد.
Some of us wanted to put in memory of the victims because the village was a site of a big massacre in 1948, but the viewpoint was expressed. The Israelis are good at being the victims, so they could, in time, turn it over. The victims, that's us. So we put the villagers because the Israelis were not ever villagers. It's sad that we are still required to be in existence, but it's a necessity, I would say, if you want to convey to people what's happening to Palestinian people, the rights of the Palestinian people, it's essential as a voice. So we are part of the voice. There's lots of groups in Scotland to do with Palestine, but we are the oldest.
I think in Scotland there has always been a lot of activism around Palestine. There are a lot of groups who could be considered as charities or just activist groups who have gone to Palestine, who have sent aid to Palestine. We have members who've travelled to Palestine in convoys, with food, with ambulances, with fire engines. There's always been a lot of good work in Scotland in terms of trying to support the Palestinian people and support aid efforts to Palestine. So naturally from that, there was a demand for a cross-party group.
So we all set this stall up 19 years ago. Just the top of the road. My husband and I, John, we just looked at each other, you know, what we do, you know, just tell people about what happened, what we've witnessed. We've got photographs to show people. And folks started donating money to us, and I thought, this isn't our money. So we immediately thought of funding this young Palestinian girl we met in the refugee camp. So 19 years ago, I met Hiba. Now she's a big chief in Beit Jala Hospital. Yeah, and she's the medic for the entire refugee camp as well.
Hiba.
That's Hiba, that's her. Big chief, Beit Jala.
We get tremendous response here. And obviously people are going about their business. You know, people are facing hard times. So it's very difficult to keep people concentrated on what they see as one issue. But to us, it's all interrelated anyway. It's all about, this is a, you know, Israel's, it's a colonial power, it's an occupation, it's illegal. Everything that they're doing is illegal under international law. So it doesn't take very much to engage the public on that level. They've got a kind of natural empathy, a natural sympathy towards Palestinians, I think. And I think Glasgow, we've had a tremendous response here. Very, very receptive.
نقف في غلاسكو، المدينة التي شهدت الكثير من التظاهرات الداعمة للقضية الفلسطينية، حتى وصل الأمر بها أن رفعت العلم الفلسطيني على مبنى بلديتها أثناء عدوان إسرائيل على غزة عام 2014. غلاسكو أكبر المدن الاسكتلندية التي كانت قد أعلنت التوأمة مع مدينة بيت لحم في رمزية تضامنية ليست الوحيدة، فمدينة داندي أيضاً أعلنت التوأمة مع مدينة نابلس.
This is my favourite place in Palestine. Balata refugee camp. The reason for that is, sorry, it's talking to Connie. Sorry, just the group up the road are watching us. Glasgow Friends of Israel are watching us. So just to warn you, he's just going away. This man going up the road. Yeah, haha.
اللوبي الصهيوني تدركه مارغريت بشكل خاص، إذ تروي لنا بعضاً مما تعرضت له أثناء زياراتها المتكررة إلى الأراضي المحتلة. توقيف وتفتيش وعبارات واضحة بعدم الترحيب بها، إلى أن
Then the last time I went, when I landed, I was immediately arrested. As soon as I came off the aeroplane, I was handcuffed, arrested. I was taken to the Israeli Minister of Interior. I was interrogated. They had photographs of me on the stall. And it was Glasgow Friends of Israel who was just watching us a few minutes ago there. They took my photograph on the stall, sent it to Ben Gurion because some of them served in Israeli forces quite high up, and they're in touch with them constantly. So they've gave my name, they were waiting on me coming. He held me for 4 or 5, 6 hours, put me into an isolation room. Do you know, compared to what Palestinians endure, that was nothing. That's the main thing I think we always need to think. Compared to what they're going through, I know I'm going to get a flight home. I don't know when. You know, a Palestinian who's in jail, they don't even get a trial at times. They're just there for years and years. I think about 4 or 5 days I was taken in handcuffs to the airport. And you know when you go on the plane, you walk through the big tunnels to go on the plane? Right, you could see people walking through them. I'm in the tarmac with another 3 soldiers, all with guns pointed on me, and everybody's looking down and I'm in the tarmac. And next thing I saw this going away and I thought, oh, they're playing games, they're not going to put me on this. But they brought out these stairs and they made me climb up the stairs, one at the front, 2 at the back of me, took me down the back of the aircraft, said to the air stewardess, don't give her this passport back till you leave Israeli airspace. So I received a lifetime ban for that. So I asked him what I'd done. he said, I'm a terrorist. And I did say, well, if you get in a mirror, just look in it and you'll see the face of a real terrorist.
للتضامن الاسكتلندي مع فلسطين وناسها أوجه متعددة، وقد لا يخفى على هواة كرة القدم أن نادي سلتيك الاسكتلندي، وهو ناد لكرة القدم في مدينة غلاسكو، من أكثر الأندية تبنياً للقضية الفلسطينية، حيث لا يضيع أي فرصة لتحية فلسطين. تعود أصول جماهير نادي سلتيك إلى المهاجرين الإيرلنديين الذين عرفوا الاحتلال والقمع، وهو ما يفسر إصرارهم على دعم قضايا التحرر والاستقلال، وأولها فلسطين. النادي المشاكس الذي تعرض للعقوبات والغرامات مراراً وتكراراً لا يبالي، بل يتحدى وبقوة. ففي عام 2016 رفعت جماهيره أعلام فلسطين حينما واجه فريقاً إسرائيلياً في الأدوار التمهيدية لدوري أبطال أوروبا، ما اعتبره يومها الاتحاد الأوروبي لكرة القدم أمراً محظوراً، فارضاً على النادي غرامة مالية. إلا أن النتيجة جاءت معاكسة، إذ أطلق المشجعون حملة تبرعات خيرية لفلسطين استطاعوا من خلالها جمع أكثر من 130 ألف جنيه استرليني، فضلاً عن الشعارات واللافتات التي ترفع تزامناً مع انتهاكات الاحتلال المتواصلة. وعندما لا يكون هناك من يرفعها، يبتكر المشجعون طرقاً خاصة، فهذه الأعلام تحضر نيابة عن الجماهير في زمن كورونا. لا يقتصر التضامن الاسكتلندي على ضمائر الجماهير فقط، بل يمتد إلى أروقة البرلمان، من ارتداء النواب الكوفية إلى الانتقادات الصريحة والمباشرة لممارسات الاحتلال، خصوصاً في صفوف الحزب الوطني الاسكتلندي الذي يقود البلاد منذ عام 2007.
Obviously, the British state, Israel's an ally. In conjunction with America, it's given $3.8 billion a year. We feel at the Scottish government level, there's token support, but we feel that they could be doing much, much more. And in fact, I believe there's some petition before the Scottish government just now to try to intervene and say more and basically stand up for Palestine. There's so much more people could do, the political class, we feel.
ليس من السهل أن تكون سياسياً وقائداً في أحد بلدان المملكة المتحدة، فاللوبي الصهيوني موجود أينما كان، يتلاعب بخفة وخفية تترجمان نتائجه بطرق مختلفة. فهذه نيكولا ستيرجن تواجه رسالة مفتوحة من قبل أكاديميين فلسطينيين اسكتلنديين يتهمون الحكومة بإسكاتهم عن الحديث عن التطهير العرقي في فلسطين، وذلك بعدما اعتمدت حكومة إدنبرا تعريف مصطلح معاداة السامية وفق ما أدرجه التحالف الدولي لإحياء ذكرى المحرقة، تعريف يحد من انتقادات انتهاكات إسرائيل وجرائمها.
Just politics. I am not surprised. I'm not surprised because it would be, meaning should be standing up against a powerful lobby, and she's obviously not prepared to do it. I mean, personally, she might not be in agreement with it, but politically, she is. I don't think I can add much more to that.
There's a bigger picture of the Israeli lobby doing everything it can within its vast machinery to obfuscate and close down knowledge and understanding of the Palestinian situation. So they've got a big machine at their disposal there. You can see that in the States, how certain states have tried to close down support for BDS. Here I think it's more difficult. you have seen like the Tory leaders basically coming out and asserting their support for Israel, as they all do, but not just the Tory party. Starmer also, you know, these people are not friends of Palestine. Jeremy Corbyn is, that's the difference. You know, this is a person that will stand up. So I think it would be difficult. You know, I think they will try to push these things through the court. And this is basically an attack on civil rights, basic freedom of speech at large. But they're very intent in trying to close down the Palestinian issue. And they'll use the courts, they'll use lawfare, they'll use any attack possible, including obviously the whole kind of smear agenda, calling anybody who calls out Israel as an anti-Semite. This is standard procedure.
قد يختلف المسار الشعبي عن السياسي أحياناً، إلا أنه لا يمكن تغييب فلسطين عن المشهد السياسي الاسكتلندي، فوجود مجموعة برلمانية مشتركة بين الأحزاب لمناقشة قضية فلسطين أمر لا بد منه.
The cross-party group on Palestine has run continuously since the start of the Scottish Parliament's history here. In terms of parties that are represented, we have every party in the Parliament apart from the Conservatives, so that is the SNP, the Scottish Labour Party and the Liberal Democrats, and the Greens, of course. They are all represented, but not the Conservatives.
لا نبالغ إن قلنا إن فلسطين حاضرة في اسكتلندا، ولا يقتصر ذلك على التضامن الرسمي والشعبي فقط، ولا التكاتف أثناء أي عدوان إسرائيلي على غزة أو الضفة أو القدس، بل يصل الأمر إلى حد استحضار فلسطين بهويتها وهوها إلى هنا. فهذا مثلاً محل لبيع المنتوجات الفلسطينية وسط العاصمة الاسكتلندية إدنبرا.
All of the products here are from Palestine. You know, they're fantastic products, and they really showcase the quality and the passion that Palestinians have and the pride that they have in the products that they make. And that's something that people need to acknowledge. You know, it's really just, when you look at it, it's absolutely amazing. You can't doubt that they are good at what they do. They've got this long-standing tradition and heritage that comes along with it. I mean, some of our producers, and which we call producers, they're actually suppliers. They have 5, generations worth of skill passing through. And we don't tend to realize that it's, it's handed down traditions from family to family. And it's traditions that are dying, That's the human aspect to it. It's sad that it seems like it's a dying art form because they're being eradicated. And this organization is run by all of its volunteers, that have been here for many, many years. They've got that passion to help and support Palestinians, irrespective of religion or wherever they come from. It's that drives this organization and really makes it a huge, huge success. So it's important to really just, do what you do in terms of letting people know what people go through and how they really suffer. And it's not just about buying a fantastic product, and using it and forgetting about it. It's actually stopping to think where it comes from, how it was made, where it was sourced, and who it's actually helping at the end of the day.
لفلسطين في اسكتلندا حصة في الضمائر والعقول، فأصدقاؤها كثر، أوفياء لها، تواقون إلى استقلالها، ويرددون لها Free Palestine، فلسطين حرة.
At the end of the day, the Palestinians will win for themselves. You can do a small, humble bit here and we're proud and happy to do it. But they're the ones that will win in the end because they've got political rights on their side, they've got legal rights on their side, and they've got moral rights on their side. So we will win, they will win, that's assured.
Thank you so much.
Oh, we say don't give up at all. You certainly don't give up. Choose the right politicians to represent them if they have a choice.
No, and no one can mute the voice of right of Palestinians.
I love them and I miss them so much, and I would do anything to get back there, anything to get back. Well, one day, inshallah, I will return. It's my land as well. Then when the whole occupation is over, the campaign's going to get a wee flat in Balata camp. And we'll have holidays there. Free Palestine, absolutely, 100%. One day, I will be first on the plane, I guarantee it.